It's Tuesday, January 13th. In the headlines, government allocates $10 billion for household reconstruction grants. In business news, telecoms giant Flow invests in St. Thomas. Regionally, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown urges more cooperative EU approach to Caribbean countries. And in sports, Jamaica's national stadium redevelopment moves closer. And West Indies announced a T20 squad to face Afghanistan. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The government has set aside $10 billion for reconstruction grants to assist householders whose homes were damaged by Hurricane Melissa last October. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement following a meeting with officials from the Labour and Social Security Ministry, the Office of the Cabinet, and the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management at the Office of the Prime Minister recently. Dr. Holness says the meeting focused on finalizing the framework for the distribution and disbursement of relief, reconstruction, and restoration grants. The Prime Minister notes that the funds will provide partial assistance in some cases and urged beneficiaries to continue using their own resources where possible. He says ODPEM estimates that about 90,000 households suffered damage, with approximately 65,000 assessments already completed.
There are many other needs that would be required for the rehabilitation of your household, but the primary purpose for the grant is to restore your dwelling. So in as much as possible, we urge you to use the grants when they are issued.
Dr. Holness says several operational procedures have now been finalized to guide the program, noting that the process is complex and must comply with existing laws, even in emergency situations.
Such as beneficiary identification to make sure the people who actually need it get it, to ensure efficiency, that it gets to those people quickly, and effectiveness, that they are able to actually use the resources to address the need, and the accountability issues, that we are able to determine that the people who actually need it are the people who actually benefited or got the grant.
The Prime Minister says the program will be launched this month by Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. He adds that funds will be disbursed using digital payment options, including bank accounts and debit cards, to ensure convenience for recipients. Tax Administration Jamaica is reminding taxpayers that consumption taxes are due and payable on or before Friday, January 30, 2026. The taxes include general consumption tax, special consumption tax, telephone tax, and guest accommodation room tax. These obligations apply to businesses and individuals required by law to collect and remit taxes on taxable supplies, specified goods, and guest accommodation services. TAJ is encouraging taxpayers to use its online payment options, including payments through jamaicatax.gov.jm, direct funds transfer, NCB Online, and Scotia's online and mobile banking platforms. Taxpayers are being urged to file their returns and settle all outstanding liabilities by the due date to avoid interest and penalty charges. For further information or assistance, persons may contact the TAJ Customer Care Center at 888-TAX-HELP. That's 888-829-4357. More than 8,000 Jamaicans traveled to Canada in 2025 under the Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program, according to figures released by Canada's High Commissioner to Jamaica, His Excellency Mark Berman. Of that number, approximately 3,303 workers had more than 10 years' experience in the program, while 1,051 were first-time participants. In addition, 417 applications from female workers were processed during the period. High Commissioner Berman made the disclosure while addressing a send-off ceremony for seasonal agricultural workers departing for Canada last week at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's Overseas Employment Centre on East Street in downtown Kingston. The High Commissioner also notes that the Jamaica-Canada Farm Work Program is marking its 60th anniversary this year. He says Jamaican workers have, for 6 decades, played a vital role in supporting Canada's agricultural sector and ensuring food security for Canadian families. In this week's Living Healthy report, we take a look at St. Thomas Teen Hub. It's a place where youngsters can get answers to health-related questions in confidence. And that's not all.
Hi, my name is Rory Roberts and I am the Center Manager for Teen Hub. I'm not officially saying Teen Hub Kingston because we're in Teen Hub St. Thomas. And I'm elated and excited for St. Thomas, knowing that it's a big deal. St. Thomas is often deemed as the forgotten parish, and having the second team in the entire Caribbean, it's a big deal, St. Thomas. It is history, and this cannot be taken away from you, and I hope you guys will cherish Teen of St. Thomas.
No, I think the hub is a safe space for youth where they can come and just express themselves, be the better version of themselves. So I think the new opening of the hub in St. Thomas is really, really beneficial and crucial as we get more youths to come and open up. We can save all of our lost souls and just help them to know that they are the future. They are the voices of tomorrow, and we can overcome whatever obstacles they're facing.
So all our young people here, you have a space now where it is in your space. You can come, feel free to express yourself. People here will listen to you. People here follow you. People here believe in you. And people are here to ensure that your goals are met. Your dreams are met. We're here to ensure that youth development is of utmost importance. So think for yourself. Team of Kingston and St. Andrew, now Team of St. Thomas. Roll your house.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. The Flow Foundation, in partnership with Young Women and Men of Purpose, has officially launched the REAP Entrepreneurship Program, a transformative initiative designed to equip aspiring entrepreneurs with the skills, confidence, and support needed to build sustainable and resilient businesses. The program was launched on January 7 at the Golden Shore Resort in licensed Morant Bay. It represents a $5 million investment in entrepreneurial development. REAP will support 30 emerging entrepreneurs from St. Thomas through a 6-month journey running from December 2025 to May 2026, providing both practical training and holistic development opportunities. Participants will benefit from structured training modules covering key areas such as introduction to entrepreneurship, health and wellness for entrepreneurs, accounting for small businesses, marketing and pitching for funding. The program also places strong emphasis on mentorship and exposure, offering participants business field trips, conference attendance, and technical support from Vision 2030 Jamaica agents through the Planning Institute of Jamaica. The Jamaica Mortgage Bank is preparing to enter the luxury one-bedroom apartment market. The bank will provide financing for the Avery, a boutique hilltop development in Kirkland Heights, St. Andrew. The 18-unit project will comprise one-bedroom suites priced at about US $335,000 or roughly 52 million Jamaican dollars, and deluxe studio units starting at US $236,000 or about $37 million. Developer Kirk Goss of Grand Concepts Property Holdings says the project is not focused on volume, but on delivering value through location, scale, and careful execution. The development is being marketed to investors, returning residents, and diaspora professionals seeking a property in a cool, quiet community located about 7 miles from the foot of Red Hills. For the trading period of January 12, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 2,236,707 units, or about 14.13% of market sales activities. Wigton Energy Limited with 1,705,880 units, or 10.78% of market sales activities. Atlantic Hardware and Plumbing Company Limited with 1,535,216 units, or 9.70% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in transportation, energy, and distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market, based on Bank of Jamaica data for January 12, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $158.66 and buying at $156.77. In the Canadian dollar, there were moderate gains supported by a $6.09 transaction spread. The Canadian dollar sold for $120.07 and was bought for $113.98. For the British pound, there was continued volatility, which offered short-term trading opportunities of $3.10 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $213.11 and was bought for $210.01. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, did you find your dream property? Well, luxury real estate approvals are driven less by desire, more by how your credit profile performs under scrutiny. For luxury property, if you're a member of the diaspora, if you're planning for retirement, or you just want to have your dream property, the lenders are going to assess you very differently. For luxury apartments, luxury real estate in general, they want to know how deep is your credit. How can you be consistent with payments? What is your other debt exposure? And can your income be durable? It's not just strong earnings. Lenders want to know what happens if one earning stream is different, so that's stability. They want to know how you spend, so they check your credit report to see restraint. And they need well-documented history. And that's going to show you can manage long-term ownership. So when your credit report shows that you are credible, that you are calm, and that you can manage money, your luxury property, your dream property, becomes a strategic decision and not a long shot or a hope. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital markets and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, in Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister Gaston Brown is urging the European Union to adopt a more cooperative approach towards the Caribbean, warning that sanctions and blacklisting measures are hurting small economies. The concerns were raised during a courtesy call by the EU's new ambassador to Antigua and Barbuda, Her Excellency Fiona Ramsey. ABS News' Shanakisha Francis reports.
Prime Minister Gaston Brown says Antigua and Barbuda remains committed to global financial security standards, but believes sanctions against Caribbean nations are counterproductive.
I'll say here too that unilateral sanctions by the European Union, I don't think that those are quite appropriate. It's an aggressive stance, which doesn't help. We would like to see a more cooperative approach, one in which there will be more dialogue.
He explains blacklisting often slows financial transactions and discourages international banking relationships.
It makes it difficult for us to move money because of most invariably the banking system globally, both within the European Union, the UK, as well as the United States. Almost invariably these corresponding banks will look at de-risking and at best they will slow down the transactions, which is not good for business.
The Prime Minister also defends the Citizenship by Investment program, saying it is vital to regional economies.
You have some countries in the OASIS Caribbean that are involved in these programs. And these programs contribute up to about 50-60% of their revenue. And if they were to lose the revenue, it's clearly people will be plunging into poverty inadvertently.
He says continued dialogue with the European Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States is the best way forward. Shanakisha Francis, ABS News.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister is pushing back against speculation surrounding a memorandum of understanding with the United States on the transfer of third-party non-nationals. Speaking to reporters on Monday, he said the agreement is only a framework for dialogue, with no finalized details on numbers, timing, or housing. And he stressed that individuals with criminal records will not be a part of any arrangement. More from HTS News Force.
Let me make it abundantly clear, there's been no agreement to the government of the United States. So I can't tell you numbers, I can't tell you anything about numbers, nor can I tell you anything about conditions, nor can I tell you anything about anything of that nature.
On Monday morning, members of the media gathered at the office of the Prime Minister seeking further clarification on the New Year's announcement delivered the night before regarding a memorandum of understanding between the government of St. Lucia and the United States for the transfer of third-party non-nationals.
What we've signed, as most countries have signed, is a MOU. A memorandum of understanding. The memorandum of understanding is basically a framework for dialogue and cooperation with the United States as it regards to nationals from third countries who are presently in the United States and the United States seeks to want to get them out of the United States. St. Lucia is not the only country that has signed. Guyana has signed. Most of the countries in CARICOM have signed. Larger countries like Papua New Guinea have signed, so St. Lucia is not new in this regard.
According to Prime Minister Pierre, the government of St. Lucia is still working through the logistics of the potential transfer of third-party non-nationals with the United States. However, key details of the MOU, including when the program would begin and where any refugees would be housed, have not yet been outlined by officials.
Presently negotiating with the American government as to the terms of that MOU. When that is ready, I will inform you as to how many people will come, as to what is happening for the housing, etc. I will inform you on that when I have that information. I don't have it now, so even though you ask me, I can't tell you. That information is not available. What is clear is that in the MOU, it is clear that criminals, people with criminal records, known criminal records, will not be part of that exchange. The United States government will not just send people here. We're going to be discussing it. It's a mutual understanding with a diplomatic ally. And you know the United States is a major diplomatic ally and a major country. This is all I can tell you about them. Everything else is speculation. St. Lucia can say no. St. Lucia can say no.
Prime Minister Pierre says that as negotiations continue and more information becomes available, it will be shared with the public. Lucia Alfred, HTS News Force.
The Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago is welcoming proposed amendments to the Maternity and Retrenchment Acts, calling the move a long-awaited step toward gender equity and parental rights in the workplace. The group says the changes advocated for since 2018 offer renewed hope for fathers to be recognized as equal parents as the government moves to introduce paternity leave and stronger protections for working families. The details from TTT News.
The Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago has welcomed the proposed amendments to the Maternity and Retrenchment Acts, describing it as a glimmer of hope. President of the association, Rondell Fields, says they have been advocating for these changes since 2018. Mr. Fields is now hopeful that it will be a part of the consultation process.
I'd have reached out to the Attorney General, he would have responded, and he did indicate that he did highlight, or he did make mention that they want us to be consulted when it comes to the drafting, and that is something that we intend to hold them to.
We have had instances of fathers where the mother died giving birth and they couldn't get leave to take care of their newborn babies. So we see this as great hope on the horizon, and we just want to be guaranteed that men get suitable time so that they are not or no longer seen as secondary parents. Many of them over the decades have lamented to the fact that they have always had to then look for vacation leave. They've all had to look for no pay leave because they have never had satisfactory time when it comes to parental leave.
He also pointed out the move speaks directly to gender equity within the workplace.
When it comes to parental rights, we need to instill gender equity because we see fathers making the same national insurance contributions as their female counterparts or co-workers, yet they are not afforded the same parental time as their workers and parental security as their workers. They were not for decades awarded this. And now they'll have the opportunity at least to say that they're going to have legislated leave. They'll be there for their wives.
Mr. Fields does not anticipate any pushback from employers.
There are institutions now that realize places, global institutions like Microsoft, and these places are going at 8 weeks and going to 12 weeks because they understand that there is benefit when fathers are involved in the nurturing of their children, benefit to the child, benefit to the father, and benefit also to the mother when they're there to support them. So it's about family building, and I think the world has realized that it is critical and important to have fathers included opposed to excluded from the immediate postnatal stage of the birth of their children.
The amendments will see the introduction of paternity leave, the removal of the ruling limiting maternity benefits to once every 24 months. It will also see an introduction of paid breastfeeding breaks, stronger protections against workplace discrimination, a ban on pregnancy testing for job applicants and employees, and will extend full protections to contract workers and fast-track cases through the industrial court. Cavion John, TTT News.
In sports, plans to redevelop the National Stadium will be moving forward. Sports Minister Olivia Grange says a feasibility study completed in the final quarter of last year confirms that the project is both viable and critical to Jamaica's sporting and cultural development. The minister made the announcement at a press conference at the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association offices in Kingston recently. She says the redevelopment will increase the stadium's seating capacity by about 10,000 seats, boosting its ability to host major local and international events. The plans also include the construction of new multi-level stands with roofing over most sections of the facility. However, Minister Grange says the existing grandstand roof will remain untouched as the National Stadium is being treated as a heritage site. Minister Grange says construction is expected to begin in July 2027. The project aims to modernize Jamaica's premier sporting facility while preserving its historic character and expanding capacity to host world-class events. On cricketing news, Cricket West Indies announced its 16-member squad for the three-match T20 International Series against Afghanistan, scheduled to be played at the Dubai Cricket International Stadium in the United Arab Emirates from January 19 to January 22. Terry Andrew reports.
Brandon King will lead the Windies T20 squad in the absence of T20 captain Shea Hope. Shamar Joseph and Evan Lewis are back in action for this series, with both players successfully clearing return-to-play protocols after recovering from injuries sustained in previous series. Quinton Sampson, the breakout player of the 2025 Caribbean Premier League, has earned his maiden international call-up. He replaces Rovman Powell, who has been rested for the series. The rest of the squad are Alec Athanase, Casey Carty, Johnson Charles, Matthew Ford, Justin Graves, Amir Jangu, Gurukesh Moti, Kari Pierre, Jaden Seals, Raymond Simmons, Shamar Springer, and Shimron Hetmeyer. The series will serve as crucial preparation ahead of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup scheduled to begin on February 6th, with the final squad for this highly anticipated competition to be announced ahead of the three-match T20 International Series against South Africa set for January 27 to 31. Head coach Darren Sammy noted that in addition to being utilized as a fine-tuning opportunity ahead of the ICC World Cup, this series facilitates the reintegration of key players coming off significant periods of absence. Terry Andrew, ABS Sports.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Remember, you can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you for watching.